Bhajahure mana Srinandanandana Abhaya Charanararavindare Durlabha Manava Janama Satsange Taraho Ye Bhava Sindhure Abhaya Charanararavindare Abhaya Charanararavindare Bhajahure mana Srinandanandana Abhaya Charanararavindare Shita Atapa Bhatavarishana Edine Jamini Jagire Bipale Sevino Krupana Durjana Vipale sevino krupana durjana tapala sukhala bhalagire abhaya charanaravindarare yedhana yauvana putrach parijana iteke ache paratitire kamala dala jala jivana talamala Kamaladala jala jivana talamala bhajahu haripada nitire abhaya charanaravindarare Shravana kirtana smarana vandana pada sevana dasyare Shravana kirtana smarana vandana pada sevana dasyare Pujana saki jana atmanivedana Pujana saki jana atmanivedana Govinda dasa abhilashare abhaya charanaravindarare Bhajahure mana Srinandanandana abhaya charanaravindarare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhajahure mana Srinandanandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare Abhaya Charanara Vindare. Hare Krishna, welcome all of you for this Nectar of Devotion series of discussions. So we'll start with our prayers to the six Goswamis of Vrindavana. Nana Shastra Vicharanaika Nipuno Sadharma Samsthapako Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakaro Radha Krishna Padara Vinda Bhajananande Namattaliko Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyuga Shri Jiva Gopalako. The meaning goes like this: I offer my respectful obeisances unto the six Goswamis, namely Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who are very expert in scrutinizingly studying all the revealed scriptures with the aim of establishing eternal religious principles for the benefit of all human beings. Thus, they are honored all over the three worlds, and they are worth taking shelter of because they are absorbed in the mood of the gopis and are engaged in transcendental loving service of Radha Krishna. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we have to start with the chapter 11 today. So those of you who want to read can please take opportunity to read this.
Can I read? Aspects of transcendental service, servitorship, in the opinion of karmis, frutu workers, offering the results of karma is called servitorship. But according to Vaishnava acharyas like Rupa Goswami, servitorship means constant engagement in some kind of services to the Lord. In the Skanda Puran, it is said that those who are attached to ritualistic activities, the four orders of social life, and the four orders of spiritual life are considered devotees. But when devotees are actually engaged in offering service to the Lord directly, there must be these must be Bhagavatas or pure devotees. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities or prescribed. Those who are engaged in fruitive activities or prescribed duties according to the four orders of social and spiritual life are not actually pure devotees, but still because they are offering the result to the Lord, they are accepted as devotees. When one has no such desire but acts spontaneously out of love of God, such a person must be accepted as a pure devotee. The conditioned souls who have come into contact with the material world are all more or less desirous of lording it over material nature. The system of Varnashram and the prescribed duties under this system are so designed that the conditioned soul may enjoy in the material world according to his desire for sense gratification, and at the same time gradually become elevated to spiritual understanding.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So here, Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is talking about what exactly is servitorship, right? So offering the results of fruity work is also called servitorship, but Rupa Goswami Pad is saying, as per Skanda Purana, he is quoting Skanda Purana, that who are what is actually considered servitorship. Now let's kind of understand this word service. One or two people can share, what do you mean by service? Anybody wants to share? What do you mean by service, servitorship or service?
Hare Krishna Mataji, following the instructions of the Guru Mataji.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
And doing the works in the temple, whatever is the related, whatever the Guru says there.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
The difference between service and job is, in job we accept some money or remuneration for what we do, but in service we don't expect any remuneration. That is, we can say unalloyed. So service is like it doesn't have any motivation to it. Service.
Okay, fine. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, mainly, what you said is service, actual service. Now there are other services also. If you see kind of social service, and then service to humanity or service to our parents, all these. Some of them are obligated, and some things are, as duty we do. But this kind of servitorship, what Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is talking about is what exactly service means, that when devotees are constantly engaged in serving the Lord, right? So when we are the aspect of service comes when we are talking about a master and servant, right? They have to be two people. So master and servant, then accepting one as the master and oneself as the servant. In the Varna Ashrama, here it says, is designed that conditioned soul may enjoy in the material world to desire his sense gratification, at the same time gradually become elevated to spiritual understanding by the prescribed duties of Varna and Ashrama. Now, initially, initially in the sense, for many births, we have been so conditioned to think that this whatever we see we have to enjoy, right? And that is what Srila Prabhupada, talks of this thing time and again, lording it over material nature. In various ways, maybe in a small way or in a big way, whatever way, that we are all desirous of lording it over material nature, which means that we are trying to control. Control means we are trying to be the masters, right? So that is why after so many thousands and thousands of birth, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, thousands of birth, one comes to the aspect of understanding that I'm not the body soul. Then another so many births, then actually understanding about the Atma and Paramatma, and then actually trying to inculcate and follow that in practice. It is really a what to say, really a mercy of the devotees that if we have come to this path now, and where we understand that just that knowledge aspect of just the knowledge that I am not the body and soul, but I have to act on that platform, and acting on that platform is the service. Service means that I'm the servant, and I have no control over anything at all, right? uh, Time and again we have been listening to this, we have been reading about it constantly, but the aspect of actually maybe this is what I experience. We are in the class or when we are reading, it is easy to relate to these things, but the moment we are away from any kind of association, either through books or devotees, then that is when is the actual test, how much we have inculcated it in our lives, or how much we are going to practice what we all have read or listened, or we are supposed to practice, right? So how many of us face this challenge, that during the sessions or during while reading, during Mangalarati, we feel that, but then once we are out of that, how many of us are in that mood that we have to be the servant and not the master?
Maya takes the charge, so we forget that.
Okay. Yes.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna,
Yes,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I'm a preschool teacher, so sometimes even I have felt like that, Mataji, like I'm in control.
Not sometimes. Sometimes, I'm repeating Srila Prabhupada's words. Sometimes we understand that we are servant, and most of the time we are in the mood of controlling, being the master, right? Takes a lot of ego beating to come to that aspect. Yeah. Anyway, I'm talking in general, including myself. I'm not pointing out, singling out anybody, right? Yes, Krishnamurti Prabhu, you wanted to say something.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
That feelings of will be for ever. I feel Mataji, of course material influence will be there. I do agree, but in rest of the times I used to think like that. Why it is better be always in that conscience only. I feeling so many times.
Yeah, very nice, Prabhu. Thanks for sharing that. hope we also can follow that. That is a nice way of feeling it. Okay. Prashanti Mataji, do you want to continue, please?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna,
Yeah.
Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Under these prescribed duties of Varna and Ashrama, there are many activities which belong to devotional service in Krishna consciousness. Those devotees who are householders accept Vedic ritualistic performances as well as the prescribed duties of the devotional service because both are meant for satisfying Krishna. When householder devotees perform some Vedic ritualistic duties, they do so to satisfy Krishna. As we have previously discussed, any activity aiming at satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead is considered devotional service.
Yeah.
Srila
Please,
Rupa Goswami, shall I continue, Mataji?
yeah, please read the next paragraph also. Yes.
Yes, Mataji, yeah. Srila Rupa Goswami describes one who is fit for becoming engaged in devotional service. He says that persons who are neophytes and who have developed a little love of Godhead are not interested in the activities of sense gratification in proportion to the devotion. But if there is still some attraction for sense gratifying activities, then the result of such activities should be offered to Krishna. This is also called engagement in the service of the Lord, with the Lord as the master and the worker as the servant. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat
Thank
Pranam.
you. Hare Krishna Mataji. So, householders, Vedic ritualistic performances and devotional service, both can be offered to Krishna, is what Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is saying here. So, Srila Prabhupada was in the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told the Kurma Brahmana, right? The Kurma Brahmana says he wants to go with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because being in the householder life, he cannot practice Krishna consciousness. So he wanted to leave the householder life and go along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refuses. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that you have to be here and practice Krishna consciousness. So Srila Prabhupada was a revolutionary in that aspect, because being a sannyasi, and at that old age, he encouraged people to get into Grihastha Ashrama, more so the Western devotees. I mean, all devotees, because in the Western culture, that was not much of a norm. So he encouraged them and then said, as an householder also, you can together serve Krishna. And all aspects, even though, there is some amount of sense gratifying activities, it says activity should be offered to Krishna. And every time this aspect of sense gratification comes, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, repeatedly, there are 2-3 things we can see time and again in Srila Prabhupada's purports. One thing is about conditioned soul. The other thing about, lording it over the material nature. Then says sense gratification. And I'm not the body, the soul. And 5 things actually. And devotional service. He converts everything to devotional service. He highlights the aspect of devotional service. So every time, this thought of sense gratifying activities, we think, trying to be devotees, we may kind of list, earlier I used to watch movies. I don't watch movies now. I used to watch TV. I don't watch TV now. Maybe some things like this. Which one? But then if we break it down further, right? Even if we are saying we are having prasadam, the general practice is like, I will do this because either my son likes it or my husband likes it, or I may like it. Then that is why I'm offering to Krishna. So this aspect of sense gratification to give up, give up is a very, very hard task. But at least we are, because of Prabhupada's mercy, we are, we are able to dovetail it to Krishna. And because we are able to dovetail it to Krishna, eventually, seeing that endeavor, then the thing should come from Krishna. It has to completely be unalloyed. I mean, the service, that is where we started our discussion with. Everything to be offered, I mean, has to be done for satisfying the Lord's senses rather than our senses or our extended self senses. It is a constant process. I mean, every time. And then if we go to the next level, we are talking of the gross aspect of all these things now, about eating or about offering. The next most difficult thing is about the ego in the mind. Externally, we may be still wanting to, doing things to satisfy the Lord's senses. But then at the ego level, at the mind level, at the subtle mind, subtle body level, what is our thinking? How much we are purified? So that is the bigger challenge than at the gross level, is what I feel. I mean, personally feel, because every aspect, if we have to think, it is ordained by the Lord, then it has to be sanctioned by the Lord, and whatever is happening is because Krishna wants that to happen. So every aspect, if we kind of break it down on the mental level, then we should see how much we are able to really follow that. That is how, even as sannyasis earlier, even when they used to go to beg, alms, the brahmanas or these sannyasis, they could go only to 8 houses, and after that, if they didn't get anything, they understood that today Krishna doesn't want me to eat, is kind of the understanding they had. And also, as a brahmanas, they never had a bank balance. One of the characteristics of a brahmana in the scripture says he never bank balance, in the sense, he depended on Krishna rather than his own savings. I'm giving the ideal perspective. How much it is applicable in Kali Yuga is a different matter of discussion. That is the kind of dependence on Krishna is that we are talking. Being servants. So we can measure ourselves individually at what level we are, and then what level we can go. I think only ourselves and the Lord knows at what level we are and what level we can go. So all these scriptures help us to see where we are stationed now and where we have to go, right? So about the servitorship. So the last paragraph, I'll ask Midhavini Mataji to read. Last paragraph of this portion in the Naradiya Purana.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danat Pranams. In the Naradiya Purana, there is a statement of how the servitorship is transcendental. It is said there that a person who is constantly engaged in devotional service by his body, mind, and words, or even a person who is not practically engaged but is simply desiring to be so, is considered to be liberated. Thank you, Mataji. Danat Pranams.
Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. Even see, that is the purification. Like, even just desiring to be so, even if we say, okay, when we are preaching to new people, they will say, it's so difficult for me to chant now. Even if they just say, okay, I'm going to chant, I will try to chant from tomorrow. Even then, the scriptures are saying, Naradiya Purana is saying, he's considered to be liberated. That is how merciful the Lord is. Now, I have another question. Now we are talking about rendering service to the Lord, right? That is what we are talking about, servitorship. Like even if we say somebody is completely pure devotees, if they are completely surrendered and then they are doing a lot of service to the Lord, right? Who do we feel is doing more service, the Lord or us? Any take on that?
The Lord is accepting the service and we are giving the service, so both are reciprocating the service, we can say.
The question was, so say like we'll take example of Bali Maharaj, right? Completely, I mean, Atmanivedanam he has done, completely surrendered to the Lord and he offers everything. So who is, I mean, like, even then, what I'm trying to say is the Lord is doing more service. I think the Lord, as we don't always get a chance. What exactly do you mean by this, Rohini Mataji? Do you want to elaborate on that? Your message is, I think, the Lord, as we don't always get a chance.
Means, just as the devotee is eager to serve the Lord, similarly the Lord is also eager to serve his devotee, or the devotional service he is offering to him. Like,
no, I'm see, even before we came to Krishna consciousness, like the Lord was, actually eternally kind of serving all the jivas. How? Now, say in this material world, till we came to the point that we are actually don't belong here, we were in the completely conditioned soul aspect. The Lord was giving us the basic necessities of food, water, air, place to live, and then to fulfilling all our needs, eternally fulfilling all our needs till such time that we came, and then we realized we have to do the service. So if actually we see, we cannot even, no matter how much service we do, the service rendered by the Lord, for the service rendered by the Lord is definitely more than what we can do. Also because he's providing the things that we use for serving. Exactly. Yeah, that is what I was trying to say. Thank you, Rohini Mataji, for that. Yes. So he is giving, and then at the same time, he's accepting the service. He's giving us the intelligence to serve. He's giving us the ingredients to serve. And then he's also waiting eternally, for billions of and millions of years for us to serve. So everything he is giving. So service means to give. So actually, the Lord, Yadyad Acharati Shreshtas, he's showing actually what it is to serve. Ahaituki apratihata, like without expecting anything, without any uninterrupted service. So he's constantly doing it, and then showing us that is what is actually servitorship, right? So with that we can go to the next one. Devotional service in friendship. Who wants to read, please?
Mataji.
Krishnamurti Prabhu. Yes, please. Yes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Vedanta Prabhupada ki jai. Devotional service in friendship. Devotional service in friendship can be divided into two categories. The first is to act as the confidential servant of the Lord, and the other is to act as well as well-wisher of the Lord. The devotee who has confidence in devotional service to the Lord systematically follows the rules and regulations with the faith that he will achieve the platform of transcendental life. The second type of devotional friendship is to become a well-wisher of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord accepts a preacher as the most dear servant. Anyone who is preaching the confidential message of the Gita to the people in the general is so dear to Krishna that no one can be equal to him in human society. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So the devotee who is following the rules and regulations, right? I think earlier in the earlier chapters we saw sadhana bhakti and raganuga bhakti, right? Sadhana bhakti is to follow the rules and regulations, and so by following the rules and regulations, what happens is we purify ourselves, and by purifying ourselves, what we thought, because the guru has told, because the devotees has said, or it, I feel nice, from that aspect, by following the rules and regulations, following devotional service, we come to the aspect of, uh, of more of spontaneity, more of the raga and bhakti, though it is slow. I mean, it depends on each individual. But ultimately, because of the purification of following the rules and regulations, and because of the endeavor, the Lord gives us this intelligence, and He gives the taste in doing it automatically and doing it spontaneously, right? And the preacher accepts the preacher as the most dear servant, because this story Srila Prabhupada shares in lectures, and all of you may have heard it earlier, and it definitely is good to know again. If a rich man's son who has run away or who is lost, then there are three types of people who know the father try to approach the son. The first type, first kind of friend of the father says, feels, oh, he's such a rich man's son, now he's going around like a madman, right? So now that is the one type. The second type is, they will go and try to tell him, why have you roaming around like this? Your father is so rich, and then you please go back. And the third person is who takes the son back to the father. So who is the best among these three?
Third
Who
one.
is the best
Third
among
one.
these three?
Third one, Mataji.
Third one. So that is how we have to understand what a preacher is doing. Why is the preacher a most dear servant of the Lord? Is because he, to the soul, to the people, they are connecting that soul back to Krishna, to their Supreme Father, right? So that is how we are trying to preach, to take people back to their Father, right? To Krishna. That is how, when we saw these three aspects of, in that example, who exactly is more, the most appropriate, that is how preacher becomes very dear to Krishna. And that he explains, he states that in 18th chapter, 68 and 69th verse, right? Nobody can be. And then also, if somebody is very dear to us, right? It can be in friends, colleagues, family, whatever. What pains us more, when we are in pain, or when if somebody is very dear to us, if we are in pain or they are in pain, what pains us more?
They are in pain.
When they are in pain, it pains us more.
Para
Right?
dukha dukhi.
No, I didn't mean that. Okay. Para dukha dukhi. But then, yeah, when they are in pain. So what is the topmost pain in this material world? What is the most painful? Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Correct. Thank you, Prabhu. So if we are taking, if we really love somebody, then we don't want them in pain, and even small material pain we are not able to see them go through, then we will definitely not want them to go through this painful thing of janma mrityu jara vyadhi. So even in that aspect, we can say why the preacher is most dearest. Though any service done to the scriptures and Acharya says, the person who is cleaning the toilet in the temple and the person who's doing the arati in the altar, both as is seen as service done to the Lord, right? So that aspect also we should always remember. Yes. Sindhu Mataji can read the next paragraph.
Hare Krishna. Pranams Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
The Mahabharata, Draupadi says, "My dear Govinda, your promise is that your devotee can never be vanquished. I believe in that statement, and therefore, in all kinds of tribulations, I simply remember your promise, and I thus I live." The purport is that Draupadi and her 5 husbands, the Pandavas, were put into severe tribulations by their cousin brother Duryodhana, as well as by others. The tribulations were so severe that even Bhishma Deva, who was both a lifelong brahmachari and a great warrior, would sometimes shed tears thinking of them. He was always surprised that although the Pandavas were so righteous and Draupadi was practically the goddess of fortune, and although Krishna was their friend, still they had to undergo such severe tribulations. Though their tribulations were not ordinary, Draupadi was not discouraged. She knew that because Krishna was their friend, ultimately they would be saved.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
So, yeah. So, initially, yes, just to encourage new people, we may say, you chant, problems will be over. You do this, and then because like Srila Prabhupada says, you have to first give sweets to children in the food when we are giving offering lunch or anything, because you have to attract them to come and eat. So the same way, of course, a lot of the problems are difficulties do vanish, or is minimized, but then they definitely don't become zero, because as devotees we have this misconception, or we come in the thing of that all our problems will be solved, right? Problems will be solved if we can understand that we get the tenacity to accept the problem, and then understand why we are going through that problem, and then why we don't want to again get into that problem. The whole aspect is, all the problems that we undergo is because we forgot Krishna. And the solace or the solution to it is, now that I trying to be a devotee, if I'm trying to remember Krishna always and doing everything for Krishna, then these problems will not. So both are true. We won't be in problem and we will be in problem. Like, the problems that come look very minimal because of the Lord's mercy and devotees' mercy. Yes, Karpavalli Mataji, please read all the 2 paragraphs. A similar statement.
A similar statement is there in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, verse 53. That how the son of the king Rishabha addresses Maharaja Nimi. My dear king, a person who never deviates even for a moment from engagement in service of the lotus feet of the Supreme Person, engagement which is sought even by great demigods like Indra, with firm conviction that there is nothing more worshipable or desirable than this, is called the first class devotee. See, Rupa Goswami says that a neophyte devotee who has simply developed a slight love of Godhead is certainly a prospective candidate for devotional service. When he becomes firmly fixed in such devotional service, such assured status becomes a confidential part of his devotional service. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, you can you please read the other paragraph also?
Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Sometimes it is found that a pure devotee lies down in the temple of the Lord in order to serve him as a confidential friend. Such friendly behavior of a devotee may be accepted as raganuga or spontaneous, although according to regulative principles, no one can lie down in the temple of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This spontaneous love of Godhead may be grouped under devotional service and friendship. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. So now in the first paragraph that Mataji read, we saw that, my dear king, a person who never deviates even for a moment from engagement in the service of that lotus feet of Supreme Lord. right? So that is a first class devotee, like constant, I mean, without a deviation or without any this thing, trying to serve the Lord. Now, some time back, we spoke about how the Lord is, reciprocating. I mean, actually, the Lord is showing how much service is doing. See, in fact, we know that story of that Brahmana, the very poor Brahmana, but he wanted to offer so many things to the Lord, cook and offer. And then how he offered everything mentally. He prepared a huge feast mentally, and then he made paisam one day, and then he wanted to check whether it is hot or not, and then he puts his finger, and then he wakes up, comes out of his dream, I mean, out of his meditation, and then he finds his finger burnt. So even on the mental aspect, the Lord is accepting service from us. Now imagine the other way around. The Lord says, mentally, I'm going to give you air, mentally, right? Will that be possible for us to accept it? We need, right? Physically, we need it. Water, air, and things like that. So you see, and I'm trying to say how merciful the Lord is, right? Even though we don't have, even though we need everything in the gross way, or in what to say, that just by mentally thinking, I can I can eat food. No, it will not. I mean, it will not suffice us. It will not satisfy us. But whereas the Lord is satisfied, right? That is one thing. So mentally, constantly, if we are not able to do something physically, but then even on mental platform we can offer the Lord. Of course, we have to do it till the time we are able to physically do it. We have to serve the Lord, right? And then this aspect of raga anuga bhakti and lying down in the temple is one aspect here. Rupa Goswami Pada is saying, right? Now see here in servitor, in friendship, servitorship in friendship. So there's one example, like now we are always talking about, even here in the first paragraph, it said, thinking about the lotus feet of the Lord. And then all of us devotees, and then if you see the devatas, everybody are anchoring to be at the lotus feet of the Lord, or take the dust of the lotus feet of the Lord. But if you take the gopas, right, when they are, playing, and then there is a condition that you have to carry the person who has lost on your shoulders, right? And what happens in that game? Invariably, Krishna sometimes wins, sometimes loses. When he loses, what he has to do? He has to carry his friends, Gopa friends, on his shoulder. And when he is carrying them on his shoulder, what is happening? Where his body is touched by the feet of the Gopa, right? So I'm giving this example to understand that pure devotees, or Nitya Siddha, or these Gopa Balakas or Gopis, the way they reciprocate with the Lord is in a very, what to say, in a very normal way. I mean, like how in a very highly loving way. When you are very close to somebody, right? That is how we are able to share so many things with friends, whereas we are not able to share the same things with maybe our parents or anything, because you feel very close to few people. So that is the reciprocal, that is the loving relationship that the Lord shares with the Gopas or the Vrajavasis, because he wants to feel that closeness with them, and by giving any designations, like in Vaikuntha, like you are the supreme, he is not able to, he is only able to take the their honor and all the service that they do. But there in Vrindavan, he is able to reciprocate with them, because he wants to relish that loving relationship with all the Vrajavasis, right? Surrendering everything to Lord. Yes, Shobha Mataji, please read.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. surrendering everything to the Lord. Regarding complete self-surrender, there is a nice description in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 29th chapter, verse 34, where the Lord says, a person who has completely surrendered unto me and has completely given up all other activities is protected by me personally, both in this life and in the next. In other words, I wish to help him become more and more advanced in spiritual life. Such a person is to be understood as having already achieved sarsti, having equal opulences with the Supreme. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that as soon as a person surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, Krishna takes charge of him and gives him a guarantee of protection from all sinful reactions. He also instructs from within so that the devotees may very quickly make advancement towards spiritual perfection.
Yeah, one
Should
more.
I continue?
Please, yes, Mataji, please.
The self-surrender is called Atma Nivedana. Can you raise little high, Mataji?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Yes, Mataji.
Is called Atma Nivedana. According to different authorities, self is directly defined. Self is sometimes considered to be referred to the spirit self or soul, or self is sometimes considered to be referred to the mind or to the body. Full self surrender therefore becomes not only surrendering oneself as spirit soul, but also surrendering one's mind and body to the service of the Lord. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakura has sung a nice song in this connection. While offering himself as a fully surrendered soul, he said, my mind, my household affairs, my body, whatever is in my possession, my dear Lord, I offer to you for your service. Now you can do with them as you like. You are the supreme possessor of everything. So if you like, you can kill me. Or if you like, you can give me protection. All authority belongs to you. I have nothing to claim as my own.
Okay, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Hari Bol.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, thank you. So, complete surrender. Srila Prabhupada gives this example of, the street dogs where they don't have a collar, right? So it is prone to, or any person going on the street, or anybody can throw a stone or harm it, and then it can, I mean, because it is not owned by anybody or it is not protected. The same way, if somebody is owning a dog and it has a collar, right? That means people will not take, not treat that dog like any other street dog. So surrendering to Krishna is like, that dog which is owned by somebody is always protected. So surrendering to Krishna is like that, we are putting that collar of protection, saying that always protected by the Lord, right? And then always protected by the Lord. And in Bhagavad Gita, it says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo moksheshyami masuchaha. The moment you surrender to me, sarva dharman. See, the question of sarva dharman parityajya. What is sarva dharman? Dharma to family, dharma to country, dharma to oneself, all kinds of dharma, right? Parityajya, he's saying, you leave any kind of dharma and you surrender to me, then all this reactions to all the sinful reactions I will remove. And Krishna there says, Ma suchaha, like do not fear, because we we have this we have this aspect of holding on to things about if, in case something doesn't work out, in case something doesn't happen, then I have to rely on this, rely on that, and things like that. So that is the aspect of complete surrender that is being mentioned here, right? to quickly make advancement of complete surrender. That means completely depending on the Lord, like how a child is completely dependent on the mother for everything. And that is how we have to. We are children of Krishna, so we have to be dependent on the Lord. And a child never doubts the mother. Will she take care of me? Will she give me whatever I need, etc. The child never doubts. So that is how we also have to depend on the Lord. Yeah. Who wants to read, please? Yamunacharya.
Mataji, can I read?
Yes, Mataji, please.
Sri Yamunacharya, in his prayers to the Lord, has expressed a similar idea in the following words. My dear Lord, I may be living within somebody as a human being or as a demigod, but whatever mode of life, I do not mind, because these bodies are simply by-products of the three modes of material nature, and I, who am in possession of these bodies, am surrendering myself unto you. Further, shall I continue, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, please read.
In the Hari Bhakti Viveka, there is a statement regarding how one can offer his body in self-surrender. There, the devotee says, my dear Lord, as a sold-out animal, has no need to think about his maintenance and sustenance. So, because I have given up my body and soul unto you, I am no longer concerned with my maintenance and sustenance. In other words, one should not bother about his personal or family maintenance or sustenance. If one is actually surrendered in body and soul, he should always remember that his only concern is to be engaged in the service of the Lord.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah. So, first of all, Yamunacharya is irrespective of the kind of body that I'm in, I want to surrender to you. I mean, like always serve you. And then we have, so many examples from the scriptures about how complete surrender, how the Lord takes care. Right? About that Brahmana, again another Brahmana, then he, where that shloka ananyas chintayanto mame jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshema vahamyam. This Brahmana is reading Bhagavad Gita every day, and then he is when he comes to the shloka, he says, how can the Lord personally take care of anybody? And then he makes a red mark, and then he goes for his madhukari, and then he doesn't get anything. His wife is waiting at home, and then when he is gone, then two boys come, one black and white, and then they say, we are disciples of students of your husband. He has sent us so all these things to give you. And then she says, why did you bring so many heavy things? You're two small boys. Then the boys say, otherwise he will beat us. Then she's wonderstruck. First of all, my husband, as of what I know, doesn't have any disciples, and then he is not the kind who will beat such small children. Why is he? Why are they saying this? And then they show the marks. I mean, there is red marks on the black boy's back, right? And then she says, okay, you please wait. And then she cooks and she offers them, and with the ingredients that they have got, and then they leave. So, and then when this Brahmana comes back, and then he, when she narrates the whole thing, he opens the book, he sees that red mark which he had put, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Bhamyaham. He had marked, that red mark would have vanished, and then he realizes it was the Lord Krishna Balaram who came to tell him that since you have given your complete life to me, that I mean, you don't have to doubt whether I will take care or not. And Srila Prabhupada gives so many examples that about where if the Lord can give a single grain of sugar to a ant, and the intelligence where to find it, and tons of food for elephants, then why are we so worried, right? So Prabhupada always said, you must have a small piece of land and one cow. That is enough for our sustenance, right? We have come up a very long way from that aspect of trying to be dependent on the Lord. But then the fact is that we may have anything, any amount of possessions we may have, but then even to enjoy or use what we have, Lord's sanction has to be there, and if he so chooses, he can take it away also. So it is not the question of possessing anything or not possessing anything. It is a question of the Lord's grace to be able to use it, and that grace is given when he realizes that it is being rightly used in his service, and eventually when it is used in his service, the person who is using it in his service is also equally satisfied and taken care of, right? Yeah, so there's one more paragraph in this part. Who wants to read it, please? Sindhu, I think, wanted to read it. Sindhu Mataji. You want to read? Who wants to read, please?
Yes, I can read, Mataji.
Can
I read one paragraph.
Oh, you all, okay.
Can
Who
I?
is that? Who is can I?
Janki.
Huh?
This is Janki Mataji.
Okay, Janki Mataji, please read.
This Srila Rupa Goswami से start करने में कुछ?
हाँ, yes, Mataji.
Srila Rupa Goswami says that devotional service in friendship and devotional service in self-surrender are two difficult processes. Therefore, such relationship with the Lord can very rarely be seen. Only for the advanced devotees are these two processes easily executed. And the purport is that it is very rare to see surrender that is mixed with sincere ecstatic devotion. One must give himself completely to the will of the Lord.
Okay, so yeah, it's like, the example given is, we see sometimes when children are small, we there's a habit of some adults who throw the children up and then they hold it, right? Now as a child, is the child afraid when any adult does this? Is the child afraid? You are able to relate what I'm trying to say?
Yes, the trust on the parents, Mataji.
Whoever, whichever adult, like they can be aunts and uncles, right? The child is never afraid, completely trusts the Lord. So that is the kind of trust that we should have on the Lord, like irrespective of how the circumstances are, right? The Lord is always there to protect us and hold us. So that they are saying is very rarely seen, because we always have this aspect. If I don't, in fact, the child is happy and laughing, exactly, because it is, it is free of all responsibilities. I mean, because it is completely taken care of by somebody. That's why it's always laughing. So that is the thing very rarely seen. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad is saying, complete surrender, because especially at trying times, all of us, do get this doubt, or get into that aspect. Should I do something, or should I completely rely on the Lord? Of course, we have to do what we have to do. It is not that karmanyavadikaraste. We have to do our endeavor, but then the result of it is what we are always worried, right? If you have some disease, will I be cured? Will I not be cured? Etc. etc. So that doubt we should never have, is what Rupa Goswami Pad is saying, and which is very rarely seen. So the last part for today, performing all endeavors for Krishna, will be from tomorrow. So offering a favorite article, Ramakrishna Prabhu can please read.
Hare Krishna Mother. Offering a favorite article. In the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th chapter, verse 41, Lord Krishna tells Uddhava, my dear friend, if someone offers me the best thing in his position or anything which is very pleasing to him, he will be eternally benefited.
Okay, he will be eternally benefited. Offering the best thing, right? So there is one, I mean, though it is a very mundane song, in Kannada, it says, Kottiddu tanage bachittidu pararige. What one gives is his own, and what he hides, or what he collects, is others' property, right? Why I'm saying is this, here it's saying someone offers me the best thing in his position, right? Now with this last thing, we will close the class. What is the best position that one can give to the Lord? What is the best thing that one can give to the Lord?
Devotion, love and devotion.
Love and devotion, yeah.
Manakaya vacha, mind, words, and manakaya vacha. Means we should so we wear the kanthimala, manakaya vacha, that we are dedicated to you, Krishna, by words, deeds, and actions.
Okay. Somebody else was saying something. Somebody else wanted to say something.
Mataji,
Yes,
attention, our attention.
Attention. In fact, it is said, see, whatever best position we can give, say, okay, I have the richest, a very nice diamond, or very nice gold, or house, or whatever, but still that is all Krishna's only. Okay. Actually, the only thing that Krishna doesn't have is our mind. As of now, right? So the best position that we can really give, right? Our mind is, everywhere else other than Krishna. So, I heard this in one lecture, so I'm just repeating it. That is the only thing that, is that free will is there in that. But everything else is aham sarvasya prabhu bhoktaram ekdasam sarva loka maheshwaram. Everything is his, only our mind, right? So that is the best favorite article that we have to endeavor with all these sadhana bhakti and with devotees association and with some sessions like this to offer it to the Lord. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Very purifying experience for me, though it is, mercy of devotees like Ashish Prabhu and Medhavani Mataji giving me an chance to serve all of you. Being a conditioned soul, being a lot of shortcomings, but definitely it is seva to the parampara, and I thank you all for the patient listening. And if there's any queries or any comments or questions, you can please go
So
ahead.
by chanting the holy names.
One second, Prabhu, please. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please wait. Please wait. Yeah. Is somebody, Sindhu Mataji, you were
Yes,
saying
Mataji. I was just a quick question, Mataji. Like
Yes.
the last line, mind is the one thing which is so true, Mataji. So true. Because we are all, so challenging thing is that one. And you brought it out so beautifully, Mataji. Like the question is that same, Mataji. Like how do we do that practically? Because when we go to the bathroom, we are free during that time. We bath, we take the towel, we we arrange everything and ready for the bath. Though that time we don't have any other work to do. But even during that time, we are not able to focus continuously chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Because we are not able to do even for 5 times or 10 times. No, Mataji, I'm sure everyone should be experienced. Again, our mind goes somewhere, some other thought, some other thing. Continuously we can't even do for half an hour.
Yeah. Kali Yuga, no? Kali Yuga is like that, right? With the very thought that has come to you that even in the bathroom when we don't have any work even there, that thought itself is so purifying, because you have come to that step, then you will work on that eventually.
Yes,
right?
Mataji. In one of our classes, Mataji had given this work for us, homework, like you have to go, because this time you will be free. So how many times, how many minutes you are able to concentrate, we have to do and tell it to her. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing that. Hare Krishna. Yes, Virendra Prabhu, go ahead.
Yes, my question was regarding the mind part. You said we should devote our mind to Krishna. So chanting is the best thing to devote the mind to Krishna, but the mind is itself turbulent and disturbed. Means Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Manas chanchala, that the mind is chanchal. So how to devote in Krishna service the mind? And I have one more question, that is Raganuga Bhakti. It is said that we should cry for Krishna. Means while chanting, we should not just chant, but we should cry that why I'm in this state, like why I'm in this like suffering state. So that is also the like question. Like
mind. You see, one can answer if one is able to practice it. Even I'm trying my best, so I can only say what I have heard. Arjuna, somebody like Arjuna, who's though being a Kshatriya, was so sense controlled, right? He's saying, Chanchalam Himan, I can catch the wind, but not my mind. So what to talk of us, right? So we can, like keep on trying. When I asked, or when several people have asked various Maharajas or Gurus, they say when the night when you're sleeping, pray to Guru and Gauranga, saying, help me while chanting, at least while chanting, forget other times. The other times will later, right? Chanting, you said, is to train the mind, but that is the maximum abuse of the mind that happens, or what can I say? All our lifetime planning happens during chanting, unfortunately. But then there is still purifying. You see, the Lord's mercy is still purifying. So from nama aparadha, even to come to nama bhasa, even if we come to nama bhasa also, is like very what to say, is a great step. Or even without coming to nama bhasa, even if we are realizing, oh, what chanting did I do today? I did not concentrate little also. See, that itself is a big thing, because when we started, said, oh, I'm chanting 16 rounds now, this, that. And then when we further realize, so many examples are given. If somebody comes to the house, a guest comes to the house, and then you're walking away everywhere. Like that is how we are doing our chanting. That is what we are doing. Krishna, when chanting, Krishna is there in the name. But then, and then one more example was, if we see how much we are hankering to see Krishna. So if Krishna comes in front of us, will we be wandering everywhere? No, we will, be fixed. We will be now and whatever, But then that is what is chanting. When we are chanting the names of the Lord, Krishna is there. But then what we are doing? We are everywhere, all over the world. So yes, it is a constant fight. Krishna himself agrees. But abhyasa yogena vairagya. Krishna says, with abhyasa and vairagya, it can be, take the mercy of devotees, take the mercy of the Guru. So we should be able to make some progress at least. Hare Krishna. Yes, Karpa.
And when when will that crying part come? Means some people cry in chanting, like that is the like shuddha stage, like they cry, means like we can say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, or like means very high stage of chanting, like that means why we are in this state, misery state, like vipralamba bhav, that will never come to us, like.
Yeah, I will say, even I am only reading it, Prabhu, so it will be difficult for me to answer as such. So thanks for sharing that. Yeah, we have to cry when we have to chant. And hopefully someday, by all your mercy, I can reach there. Right? So I have nothing much to say about that. Yes, Karpagalli Mataji.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, Krishna is Kala. Every moment and every this thing, next moment, what is going to happen, God, Krishna only knows. In that sense, I can plan the center and then always thinking only, Mataji, and always, like Medhavani Mataji always will say, always never forget Krishna, always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. That is my motto, and I'll try to follow, and always following that also, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you. That is only I'm telling, my motto, and every day I'm telling also, Mataji. Thank you. He is everything. Because next moment, what is going to happen, we cannot say anything. That only Krishna decides. Then I leave everything and I surrender it to him. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So please bless us, Mataji. I mean, bless me at least to keep the same motto.
God will bless you abundantly, Mataji, for your service. God will bless. Krishna will bless you abundantly, and He will bless you with all opulence. Thank you.
Yes, because your blessing, yes, Krishna will listen to devotees. So that's how he's going to bless me. Thank you, Mataji, very much. Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yes,
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji. One small question, Mataji. So actually, I mean, everyone say that we should offer only the flowers which are good and which are not good, we should not offer. But sometimes I feel that they have come in the form of flowers, and almost we are about to serve to Krishna. And then since they are not good, we are not able to serve. They are not going to Krishna's lotus feet, Mataji. So what should be our thought, Mataji?
Even sometimes, I mean, there's a difference between me and my Prabhu. My Prabhu will remove all the dried or little dried tulsi or flowers, and then I also always feel the same. That is why he's called Bhavagrahi Janardana, right? Not Saragrahi. I mean, it is not the article or it is the flower. It is a bhava behind it. Yes, we have to offer the best of things to the Lord, articles and all that. See, but your best motive is there. That flower is come to be offered to the Lord. So he will take that and not look at that flower is dried, right? So in one, you see, there is nothing right or wrong in devotional service. It is contextual, right? Now your bhava was, your mood was that that tulsi or that flower I'm not able to offer. That was what it came for, right? So even that thought itself is enough for Krishna. I mean, that flower gets some sukruti, and then if we are able to offer, it depends on each person. Some people will say, no, how can you offer such things to Krishna? It is not good, and things like that. So each one's bhavagrahi. So I will leave with that, this thing, because I won't say you can offer or you cannot offer. Either way, it's circumstantial. But definitely it is not wrong, right? I accept the bhava. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Tanvat pranam.
Okay, so vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo anantakoti vaishnavadli ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai Gurudev ki jai Nitya Gaur Sitanath Paramanande Hari Hari Bol Hare Krishna. Thank you, devotees.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Tanvat pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. Excellent.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Tanvat pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Mataji, can I end the session with your permission, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.